The Herdle White Show.
BBC Radio Leicester.
Hello and welcome to the program. My name is Herdle White, with you from now until 1 o'clock, right here in BBC Radio Leicester on 104.9 FM.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening to you.
Can you tell us first your journey before you came to Leicester and a little bit about your early days?
Okay, my journey when I came to England, I first came to Luton, spent a couple of years in Luton. We had some friends from Jamaica, from the village where I was from, were living in Leicester, and I came to join them. Didn't like Leicester to start with. As someone who near to London, when I came to Leicester, it was kind of a sort of a dreary place, very dull. And usually I wonder, why did black people come all this way from Jamaica to come to Leicester? And I came back to Leicester for the second time. Then, like Leicester, get to like Leicester. No, you can never take me away from Leicester.
What year was that then? What year did you?
That was 1963, if my memory serves right, when I came to Leicester.
Okay, so when you moved to Leicester, were you into music?
No. Wasn't into any kind of music. I used to listen to music, but wasn't into sound system. Apart from having a blue spot and buying your own records and play at home, but never was interested in music. Yeah.
And how was your initial break into radio then? How did that come about?
My initial break into radio, my wife was a primary school teacher, and she was on a Radio Leicester started in 1967, her first local radio, and she was listening to the program on her way to school, and they have some children program on, and she was listening, and she thought, I could do better than that. It wasn't very. She thought then it wasn't a very good program, and she rang the station, and they said to her, why do you come in and help us try and present that program? If you can do better than the presenter that we have it. And that's how it started. I went along on a few occasions with her and get to know one or two of the producers and the managers and present the program. And at that time, there wasn't a Caribbean program. There was no kind of ethnic program on BBC Radio Leicester because it have just started. And they asked me, would you like to do a Caribbean program sort of thing? 5 minutes round up a Caribbean activities. We did that for 6 months with some other friends.
Was that the first time there was any Caribbean news?
Yeah, for first time ever. And we did that for about between 3 to 6 months. Then after that, one of the producers said, why don't you do some Caribbean music? And then, and that's how it started. I didn't have a program as such. My program, my 15 minutes was every Wednesday from quarter to 1 till 1 o'clock. And then I was working at Bentley Engineering, and I used to clock out at 12 o'clock, got into my car, rushed to Charles Street, that's where BBC was at the 9th floor. Rush into the lift, rush to the 9th floor, and get ready by 12:30 to do my program for quarter to 1. And then I have to rush back to Bentley Engineering to start work at 1 o'clock. So it was, but it was exciting days. I didn't mind that at all.
What year did you start BBC Radio Leicester, did you say?
BBC Radio Leicester started November 67. I think we started at Radio Leicester about between February and March the following year, 68.
So you started with a 5-minute show, then a 15-minute
15
show.
minutes.
How did it develop from there?
Over the years, you know, we get to know all the managers and the producers at BBC Radio Leicester, and they like the kind of music because it was something completely different to the one that we were playing in a mainstream program. And then I got our program, and I sat there from 1 till 2. Then the sport program comes after that, and you know, it developed from there, from 1 hour. Then we went to 2 hours, then we went to 3 hours.
And during your show over the years, what artists have you interviewed or had any involvement?
I've interviewed over the years, I would say 90% of the reggae artists in Jamaica. And the infamous one is Bob Marley when he came to, you know, in 1971, Bob Marley came to Leicester, and that was before Bob Marley became a famous, an icon then. He came to Leicester, and it was the Manford University now, but then it was the Polytech. And he came and played the Leicester Polytech. And a friend of mine, Neville Cook, now living in Houston, Texas, we went along and we saw Bob Marley. And I can tell you, I can remember clearly, it couldn't be more than 50, 100 people. I came to see Bob Marley, and was able to, I did an interview with Bob Marley. But the sad thing about that, interviewing Bob Marley, was that I brought it back to the station, and that was when I was doing my 15 minutes stint into other people's program. And the producer of the program then said, when I have edited the program, and he let him listen to it, and he said, no, we can't play that. English people can't understand the thing Bob Marley was saying. And I'm saying, but the 15 minutes that I have is the Caribbean people. Caribbean people understand it. And he was adamant, he was determined he's not going to play it. And I really get upset about it and throw the Bob Marley interview in the bin, and that's history. Really, I was really annoyed that I was doing a Caribbean program, interviewing a Caribbean artist, Bob Marley, and he wouldn't let me play it.
What other artists over the years
Oh,
have you been proud of?
the Gregory Isaac, Barry Salmon, Culture, Jimmy Cliff, Owen Gray, you know, all the top Jamaican artists, you know, people like John Holt and people like that, you know, yeah, all of those artists, Freddie McGregor, you name the guys, Burning Spear and people like that, you know, I've interviewed them over the years.
And whilst you were on radio in the early days, you also opened a records shop. Can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, I had a record shop at the corner of East Park Road and Everton Road, and you know, looking back, was really a time when people were buying loads of records, and but at the time I was still working at Bentley Engineering. Got a wife and 3 kids, and got to pay my mortgage, so I couldn't have gone into the record shop full time because they wasn't paying enough to pay all my bills and stuff like that. So, you know, finished Bentley Engineering in the evening and rushed down to the shop to close up. I was there Saturdays, every Saturday I was there running with myself. And you mentioned people like Skully. He used to live on top of the shop, and he used to work in there quite regular. But it was a place that you know, people come to on a Saturday and during the week to buy their reggae music, because that was the only reggae shop that sells singles and vinyl and stuff like that at that time.
Was that one of the first kind of black music records?
No, I think you heard of Mr. Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did have a record shop on Laurel Road.
Okay.
I think his was the first one, and I think my one was the second, but on a larger scale than he was, because he used to run a sound system, you know, and yeah, he was, as I recall, he was the first one to open a record shop.
What were you selling? Just reggae?
Or? Just reggae.
Just reggae.
Just reggae, but when I opened, I sold reggae and soul and soca music, music that covered the Caribbean and, disco, because you didn't just get reggae people coming in, you get people coming who like the different type of music, so I was able to buy the music that the customers would have liked.
Okay. And how long did the record shop run for? What
I
years
think that
did you
record
run
shop
for?
lasted for about 4 years, if that.
And while you were DJing on radio, did you get involved in any DJing in nightclubs or?
No, I hate
any
it.
other?
I really dislike working in clubs or parties or dance or whatever. I just like to do my program, get home and relax and do nothing else.
So
I
you're-
just don't feel, I just don't feel comfortable
Yeah.
playing music to people in the dance hall. Yeah, I let the professional do that.
So as well as radio DJing, you didn't get involved in any other areas of music.
No,
besides a record
no.
shop or-
What I tend to do if I knew of someone who wanted to get into the recording business, I know people that I could recommend them to. People already in the music business, Island Records, Palmer, Jetstar people. I know all those people. So if someone was interested in making a record, or getting the production side of music, I have those people that I could recommend them to. But no, never. I did once got into managing a group called Sagittarius. Only did that for about a year, and that was heavy work. So I didn't take it any further.
Any other, in terms of artists from Leicester, has there been any big artists or anybody you've interviewed from Leicester that's done quite well?
When we look back, we look at Mark Morrison. Thank you. I played his first record on radio. I did the first interview with him, and that was before he got really big. Yeah, I remember guys like that. But apart from Mark, there hasn't been a really outstanding reggae artists from Leicester who have made it internationally or nationally, sort of a thing.
And whilst you've been on radio over these years, what other radio stations in Leicester or radio shows have been quite strong for black music, what do you think?
I mean, during the early days of local radio, you have London, you have Birmingham, you have Nottingham, quite a few radio stations that was very popular with black music. But I'm sad to say that all those programs have disappeared. If my memory serves me right, if I'm looking back, the only person remaining that still on local radio from in the early days of local radio. They have Caribbean program, but not a music program such as mine, such as the guys that Barry Curtis in Birmingham, Alex Pascal in London, I think, and people like that.
Have you got any memorable stories from your 40-year career?
Memorable stories. I remember interviewing Gregory Isaac once, and that was memorable. And because Gregory Isaac doesn't say much when you're interviewing him, and I remember my wife was at home listening to the program, and I was asking Gregory Isaac all these questions, hoping to get some answer, and all Gregory was saying is yes, no, yes, no. It doesn't matter how hard I tried to open up the discussion, the interview, he wouldn't bother. He wouldn't bother. And funny enough, about 80 years ago, long before he died, Jetstar was promoting one of Gregory Isaac's greatest hits on an album, and I was invited up to London for the launch of this new CD. And Gregory was there, and I remind him of the interview we had in Leicester. And funny enough, he remember, and we had a laugh about that, and he was really cool about that. But you know, over the years, he has opened up, become very confident, one of our Jamaica greatest artists. And if you listen to all of Gregory Isaac music, the lyrics, he wrote all those songs. He wrote all those songs, and you know, he produced some really good songs over the years. Yeah. Looking back, we did have a good laugh about that. Yeah, it was a nice way to end that sort of era with Gregory Isaac.
Are you still enjoying radio now? As you did
Very much so. You know, I look forward to it because I know for certain is that quite a lot of people out there that listen to the program. And it was a typical example about 6 months ago. We used to get a lot of requests from this guy named Raj, yeah? And he would ring in every Saturday and request Tyrus Riley, She's Royal. And you know, we played it, and he requested, and he played the one of the requests for Queen Bee, that his lady friend. And he unfortunately died about 3 months ago. But his partner emailed me and to say that he had passed away. And while he was in the Royal Infirmary, she was with him, and 2 days before he died, and he said to his partner, which he called Queen Bee, you know, one thing I'm missing Herdle White program. And she was saying, don't worry, love, you'll be home for Saturday to hear his program again. But he died the Wednesday, a couple of days before he were due to leave hospital. And you know, she was saying that every Saturday night without fail, it was a Haitian guy, every Saturday night without fail, his music could be loud as anything, and the neighbors complained to the city council, and the city council came, test the noise level, and realized they were playing his music too loud. They went to see him, and he was saying to them, "Don't blame me, blame Herdle White." He's the one that making me turning up my music every Saturday night because I like his music, and he never failed to listen to the program, you know, and things like that. But, you know, people listen. My brother lives in America, and he would call up all his friends and all the family and whoever he knows and said, "My brother is on Radio Leicester. This is where you listen on the internet. I'll make sure every Saturday everybody is listening in America." And he'll phone friends in Jamaica and said, "Get on the internet and listen to Herdle's program." So you go to Jamaica now, you get guys, people that, friends that we knew, and you know, people that we went to school with, and said, "Oh, I listened to the program, man, and it was hard," you know, sort of thing. Yeah. No, he's my number one fan in America, and also my good friend in Austin, Texas, Neville Cook. He used to live here, and he went over to Texas many years ago, and he does the same thing, get everybody to tune in. But one of the biggest shock doing this program, I got an email from a lady in Bulgaria. And I thought, Bulgaria? And I thought, you know, somebody was kidding me. And no. She have a Bulgarian posse that listen to the program because they like ska music, listen to the program. And I think about 2 months ago, I got the email from Australia. And this guy said, "Well, we listened to your program." And the program at that time in Australia is about 5:30 in the morning. And they said, "Oh, we listened to your program." So, you know, the internet is a marvelous thing. And you don't know who is listening. No, so I really enjoy.
fans worldwide?
Yeah, really enjoy.
What's the future for Herdle White?
I don't know. I don't know. It's like, you know, I was saying to people usually ask me, when are you going to finish radio? And it's like smoking. You know, lots of people probably try to give up smoking, and it never happened. And come a day, they just decide, "No, I don't want to smoke anymore." So I think my program is like that. It'll come a day when I feel, nah, I don't want to do it anymore. But that day is hasn't arrived yet. But it will come. It will come. Looking back in Leicester, you used to get some fantastic artists, reggae artists, and not just reggae artists, but international American artists. I mean, in the late '60s, early '60s, all the top artists used to come to Leicester. I mean, I saw Ray Charles, I saw Sashma, name that you guys probably wouldn't recognize, but there was big artists that come to Leicester. Look at Stevie Wonder. I met Little Stevie Wonder when he was Little Stevie Wonder. He came to Leicester with the Vandells, and you know where the Athena Centre is now. It used to be the Odeon Theatre, cinema. They came there, and they were appearing there. And after the show finishes, I pretend that I was an American and went backstage and met Stevie Wonder and shook his hand. And I had his autograph and things like that. I never came. I met Sammy Davis Jr. So yeah, you met some really nice people over the years. Really has. I interviewed the Commodores, Lionel Richie when he was with the Commodores. People like that. Evelyn King Champagne, when she was doing her thing. It's a huge list.
So the guys who were born in Leicester or grew up in Leicester and they had their singles or the first album or something like this, would you play them?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've always played the local guys. If they make a tune, I put it on radio and do an interview with them. Yeah, and you have people like Glamour Wayne's local lad. You have Tanai Brown. And people like that, local lad who are still making records. Yeah, I remember a group called I can't remember. I'm sure it was Oneness. And they were a local band, and we did interview with them. They make tape and whatever. But Leicester was heaving. Big time. But over the years, everything have just is a steady decline. The music, reggae music, and the artists that come to Leicester. Nowadays, you have to go to probably Birmingham or Nottingham. The big artists hardly come to Leicester anymore. But fortunately, in Jamaica independent dance, we have Freddie McGregor, we have Owen Graham, we have Donna Marie, Frankie Paul, and people like that. So it seems like the good times are coming back. Hopefully, the good times are coming back. We get all the big artists from Jamaica coming. I interview people like Maxi Priest and Shaggy and all those guys over there. It's an amazing thing. You go to dances or party and you get grown-up fellas, in a way, adults now, said, "Oh, I used to listen to you when I used to go to school." My mom and dad have always have your program on, and these guys have grown up. They're having kids as well. And telling you.
For these artists that were growing up,
Yeah.
Do you think you had a little bit of an influence on them?
I think I think in a very small way. I never want to be the one. Oh yes. They must have because they listen to my program or whatever. But I'm sure over the years, listening to the radio, what their parents were listening to, have some influence on them. And I'm sure that was because they were listening to the music that I were playing on radio. I'm sure it has a little influence on that. Yeah. I can't deny that, But I'm sure they do.
It's nice, for the fun. Like this was the only radio show. This was the only place.
Because I met young people, and they said I used to rush home from school on the Wednesday just to hear the music that you played on the radio. And then over the years they could listen on a Friday night when I was on a Friday, and used to listen on a Saturday when I used to do a tour during the day. Then it changed till 6 till 9 on a Saturday night. Then they changed to Friday night. 7 till 10. So you over the years, and people follow that that trend all the time. It's like when I was moved to 10 till 1 on a Saturday night, I just thought, first thing I said to them, no, I don't want to do it. And they said, think about it. Then I went home and I spoke to my wife and my eldest son. And they said, Dad, you know, it's something that you like. You'll be at home watching television anyway, so you might as well go and do something that you enjoy doing. And I came back and I said to my boss there, who was Saquii, I said, I'll do it, but I'll do it for 3 months and so how I get on. If I don't like it, I'll pack it in. And she's fine, and you know, and we haven't looked back because we have a high listening among the internet, worldwide sort of a thing, and you know, people in London, wherever, listen to the program. I was speaking to Johnny Orlando about a couple of months ago, and he said, I got a friend in Crouch End in London, and he told her about the program. And wherever she is, she have a mobile, she listens because she said, I like the music that this chap play, you know, mellow type music. And yeah, you know, it's, and Asian folks, I didn't realize so many Asian guys used to listen and still don't listen to the program when they were young. Growing up, listen to the program because that's the only program on Radio Leicester, and at that time we didn't have any Asian music that they could identify with. So these guys grew up with reggae music, and quite a few of them still listen. Because when I had the record shop, a lot of Asian guys used to come there to buy music, and there was one particular guy, and I saw him now and again. Every Saturday he'll come and stay at the corner, listen to all the music, then he'll come and say, he write down all the music and said, these are the music I hear, these are the music about. And he was there until I closed the shop. And I go to the Manfred Hall, now and again, I still see him. You know, we chat away. So I think over the years, whether I want to admit it or not, I must have some sort of influence, and people tastes the music, and also were able to spread reggae music to a wider audience, not just African Caribbean people, but to a wider audience. And I know my listeners, right? I know the people who doesn't like dancehall. I know the people who like mellow music, like the sort of the Bob Marley and the John Holt and the Barry Salmon. So you play all those new music, and you can guarantee on Monday or Tuesday or the following Saturday they be all coming to buy those music. So in a way, the station was good. This promoting the music, and we have an outlet that people could come and buy those music. And I think I brought a lot of non-Caribbean people into reggae music to like reggae music. And I think if we didn't have a show like that, they wouldn't have hear the music. And if we look back on the incident with Bob Marley, you know, and I chucked that tape away. You know, Bob Marley is an icon, you know, maybe he could have failed and didn't become an international artist. So no one would know about it. I have interviewed a lot of reggae artists that didn't make it as big as Bob Marley. But because he was such a big name, you know, you look back and think, bloody hell. But at least I did get to meet him. I did get to shake his hand, did get to sit next to him and chat with him. So you know that you can't erase those memories. You know, the only thing I probably sad about that, we didn't take a photograph, but then we didn't have mobile where somebody could click. Yeah. But no, I really do. And you know, we get now with the internet, I get loads of music from Jamaica, and interview lots of the artists. I sent the music, and if I didn't have the program, no one would hear of these guys. So you know, it's still spreading joy from that. Yeah, great stuff, and I'm still enjoying it.